The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Topping the news tonight. 3 years after Hurricane Dorian devastated a safe haven for children on Grand Bahama, there remains 2 centers for pregnant girls and wards of the state from the age of 14 that have yet to open. Tonight, the Minister for Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, speaking candidly about the future of PACE and Columbus House programs. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has our top story.
No place to go is the harsh reality for many 14-year-olds once they exit the Grand Bahama Children's Home and pregnant teen girls within the system. This comes as the PACE Center for Girls and Columbus House has closed its doors for over 2 years. Speaking candidly with our news team, the Minister for Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe, shares how social services is addressing this major issue.
The AG's office is making sure the papers are correct. We want to have those facilities open soonest. We were hoping several months ago, but of course we got delays. We're trying to get them open soonest.
The minister adds that the 2 buildings have already been renovated and that Grand Bahama Port Authority has agreed to make all efforts to assist in providing support for the reinstatement of both centers.
They've worked with us and they continue to work with us. In fact, to be honest with you, they have been discussing with me on a regular basis the urgency. Of course, we are getting to the legal necessities, and once that's completed, will be operational.
When asked on the current whereabouts and status of pregnant teens and adolescent teens who should be in the custody of the state, this was his response.
The truth is, I can't answer that. I believe that many don't go to school. Ever since it was shut down several years ago, nothing was done. And so, therefore, they were left out.
Minister Wilchcombe noted that despite the increase in teenage pregnancy and troubled boys, the reality is that their duty is to provide housing and support to these vulnerable children. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Jolanda. Well, in other news, 20 employees of the Freeport container port headed back to work this morning after being terminated during a redundancy exercise last week. Following swift action by the Bahamas government, those employees were reinstated in just 24 hours. The announcement was made this morning by the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
20 people who were laid off should be back on the job this morning, resuming their careers at the container port. But it's the job of the Department of Labor to see that this is carried out, and carried out with the principal restituto in integrum, not halfway. Will people get, for example, to keep the redundancy money and start afresh on a contract, or will this be continuous employment?
Our ZNS News team spoke directly to one of the employees who was laid off last week, and they claimed that on Friday evening, the workers received a call from the Director of Human Resources at the Freeport Container Port, who apologized for the termination and requested that workers return to their posts Monday morning at 9 a.m. We also followed up with Director of Labor Robert Farquharson, who said once the group of 20 returned this morning, they received a new employment contract reinstating them into the company.
And we sent in those AA letters of termination. The company agreed that all of those persons, or 20 of those persons, will come back to work today as if they were never terminated. That means they had their jobs back intact.
Farquharson adds that those workers will receive their full salary and benefits as before.
There is a technical issue whereby, based on the initial decision, the company would have issued through its normal payroll cycle some funds based on the process of redundancy. Since that decision was revisited and subsequently rescinded, it meant that those employees would have to have new terms and conditions of employment. And those terms and conditions of employment are the same terms and conditions of employment as they were prior to the decision. So the same vacation entitlements, the same salary, all of those things remain the same.
Sources close to our ZNS News team also revealing that there is a long-standing concern of the increase in work permits allegedly being issued to expats employed at FCP, noting that there are currently 8 expat workers, 7 of whom are in a position that Bahamians can now occupy. These include the terminal operator, a commercial officer who is the daughter of the CEO at the company and not a skilled worker, as well as engineers. Another concern is that the Bahamian employees are not being trained to replace those expats once their permits expire. We posed the issues to the labor director, who says his department is not aware of any concerns related to expat employees. However, he did ensure that the issue of employees being mistreated and other concerns are being addressed by the government. Well, a significant day to all Bahamians. Majority Rule Day is described as a day that has introduced and marked the end of white supremacy in our country. Well, today, the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development and Area Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini was the guest speaker at the 8 Mile Rock High School, where he shared the significance of Majority Rule Day. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
A movement that began with men of color working together to create and build freedom for the nation. Today, the faculty of the 8 Mile Rock High School educating their students on the significance of Majority Rule Day that has paved the way of endless opportunities, experiences, and unshakable faith in the lives of Bahamians. It was a time of celebration for the faculty and students who learned about the toils and tribulations regarding Majority Rule Day. Students participating in musical renditions and poems, all demonstrating Bahamian pride and culture towards honoring the country's founding fathers and their fight to freedom, independence, and Bahamian pride. Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Obadiah Wilchcombe, says ensuring that young Bahamians are educated on one of the most single important days in our country's history is vital to preserving Bahamian history. This as the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama addressed students at the 8 Mile Rock High School, recalling the time when Maltose William Cartwright formed a political movement that took on the strength of those who had the power.
Trade unions could not exist. You could not form yourself into a body. No group could establish itself as a union. Education was limited. When you got 14 years old, it was time to move on. And if you came from one of the family islands, you didn't get an opportunity because only a small quota could get to the government high schools and other schools in the capital.
The minister noting that despite the Progressive Liberal Party being founded by a white man, former Prime Minister Sir Lyndon Pinling, among 6 PLPs elected, led to the special day and also other special phenomena such as the women's suffrage movement.
The decision was made to cause for universal adult suffrage. The decision was made to create 4 additional seats because up to that point, the seats in New Providence were less than the seats in the family islands. And they wanted 4 more additional seats. All intended, all these things are coming together to cause the movement to get to where it must be in 1967. But there was the women, there was the labor, and of course, the labor, the people. These are the issues that have caused us to be where we are today.
Principal of 8 Mile Rock High School, Albert Jones, expressing that the special ceremony was in an effort to ensure the school children fully understood their heritage and what it took to get an independent country.
Because we need, from this generation, a group of people to stand like they did to fight against white supremacy.
January 10th will not only celebrate Majority Rule Day, but also mark the 65th General Strike, representing 19 days of when the country shut down for labor laws and unions. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Majority Rule Day is a landmark and widely celebrated day in Bahamian history, symbolizing a significant leap toward equality and freedom for all Bahamians. The anniversary will be observed tomorrow, January 10th, with a march starting from Pro Cathedral of Christ the King to Pioneers Way, downtown Freeport. The celebrations are expected to kick off at 1 p.m.
We have featured bands, Bahamas Brass Band and the Legends Marching Band. We have special guest performances by Pastor Simeon Elton, The Core, Sounds of Destiny, The Cooling Waters, Pastor Christopher Roberts, and the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. There will also be a Junkanoo rush out by the Platinum Knights. The Grand Bahama community knows how to celebrate.
Switching gears now, police officials had a busy weekend fighting crime. Here are the details in this weekend crime wrap-up. 2 residents of Hunters are in police custody after being found in possession of a pistol and a quantity of ammunition. Preliminary reports reveal that shortly after 11 p.m. on Friday, January 6th, officers attached to the Drug Enforcement Unit while on patrol observed a gray vehicle with 3 male occupants acting suspiciously. The men, ages 30 and 20, once observed by police, fled the scene. A chase ensued and officers spotted one of the males with a black object in his hand. Police arrested the men and conducted a search of the immediate area and discovered a handgun and ammunition. Police investigations continue. Meanwhile, this past Friday, police on Grand Bahama arrested a 48-year-old female of Hawkesville after she was found in possession of a quantity of suspected marijuana shortly after 5 p.m. on Friday, January 6, 2023. Preliminary reports reveal that officers from the Criminal Investigations Department executed a search warrant on a residence of Abaco Drive, where they discovered the drugs. Officers also confiscated $131 suspected to be proceeds of crime. Investigations continue into this matter by police. Police on the island of Abaco are also seeking assistance in locating a vessel that was reportedly stolen shortly after 11 a.m. on Friday, January 6th. According to police reports, the 26-foot white center console custom-made hull boat with a green bimini top, which was outfitted with a gray 200-horsepower 4-stroke Yamaha engine, was stolen from the Caroline White's dock. Also from the crime beat, police arresting 3 Cuban nationals, ages 44, 33, and 39. After they were found on Anguilla Key off Bimini. Preliminary reports reveal that sometime after 2:00 p.m. on Saturday, January 7th, the occupants of a private vessel, while on a fishing trip, discovered the illegal migrants. They were subsequently arrested and handed over to the Bahamas Department of Immigration for processing and investigations. A health and wellness seminar under the theme Taking Care of Me in 2023. The details of that story and a whole lot more, including the latest in sports, when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
Majority rule marks a significant time in our history. It symbolizes equality and a level playing field for all Bahamians. Majority rule created a path for us to dream, hope, excel, and accomplish our goals. We owe a debt of gratitude to our forefathers and framers of the modern-day Bahamas. And so I say to you, Happy Majority Rule Day, Grand Bahama, and to the Bahamas.
We're celebrating Majority Rule Day Tuesday, January 10th with a march from the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King, Pioneers Way, followed by entertainment in downtown Freeport. March starts at 1 p.m. Come and join the celebration.
This holiday season, whether you've been naughty or nice, Pizza Hut has a gift for you. Order our Joy Bundle. A large one-topping pizza, 10 Hershey chocolate dunkers, and a 2-liter Coca-Cola for just $22.50 plus VAT. And enter to win a gift card from Kelly's Freeport, a Nintendo Switch Lite, a TV, a plane ticket, a Chromebook, and free pizza for a year when you purchase the Joy Bundle. Head to Pizza Hut downtown, 352-9191.
Welcome to the My Professor and More, where our focus is to provide the innovation and provide the guidelines for our talented students in a variety of subject matters, from primary school all the way to university level.
Because of the Math Professor, my mathematical and public speaking skills have truly elevated.
At the My Professor and More, we see our students as being family members. Even though we strive in mathematics and public speaking, we cover all of those areas whereby students may be finding challenges. At the Math Professor, we strive for excellence. We strive for innovation. And through the techniques that we use, we continue to make a difference in the lives of hundreds of students each year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. We welcome you to be a part of the family.
Come and see the cabinets and countertops in stock now at Specialty Kitchen and Bath, number 16 Oak Street, phone 688-9661.
It's the Bahama Brass Band, live in concert under the patronage of the Honorable Philip Brave Davis KC, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Bahama Brass Band presents That Will Be Close, Sound of Harmony #9, The Road to 50. Join us as we celebrate in song at 5 p.m. on Sunday, January 29, 2023 at Jubilee Cathedral. Tickets are $20. Come out and join us on the Road to 50.
They fought for freedom. They fought for justice. They fought for equality. They fought for Bahamians. After years of struggle by freedom fighters, a defining moment in our evolution as a people was birthed. January 10th is a day that belongs to you. It belongs to me. It belongs to all Bahamians. Join us as we recall the historical events that led to majority rule beginning on Tuesday, January 10th through Friday, January 13th, only on the ZNS Network.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A health and wellness seminar under the theme Taking Care of Me in 2023, bringing together women of varying backgrounds at the Pelican Bay Resort this past Saturday. It was a time of fellowship that drew on the excitement and eager participation of attendees. Now in its 4th year, event coordinator Deborah Anderson Pratt noting that chosen themes in the past have been purpose-centric. However, a personal health challenge last year prompted the decision to highlight the importance of nourishing mind, body, and soul.
Speaking with a few women and realizing that so many ladies, other ladies, have similar experiences, and very often we don't come together and share. When we share, I find that we can learn so much more from one another. So after my personal experiences as well as hearing from others, I decided it would be good to put on something like this. Even though I said I'm passionate about purpose, I realized that the two can go hand in hand, because in order to pursue purpose, we have to be healthy anyway. From the registration time, if people were just registering, and I realized women are really like yearning for things like this. So the registration process, and then even after the registration was closed, so many women still wanted to come. And just seeing all the excitement in the room this morning, I feel great.
A handful of professionals took center stage sharing health tips. Dr. Monique Pratt sharing information on common types of cancer, early detection, and giving a glimpse into what can be expected when getting an examination. Guest speaker Sharanda Mitchell also on hand, sharing her hope of being a beacon of inspiration to other women faced with similar challenges to hers.
Was that the information that I imparted them today, that they would just definitely get their annual physicals. That was my main thing. And the second thing that I think I imparted, they were really that was really useful, that they will definitely be in touch with doing their self-breast exams and getting their mammograms and pap smears. That was hopefully the most impactful thing and impression that I made on them today.
I'm here to share my story. I am married for 24 years and was not able to have any children of my own. God blessed me to have 2 stepchildren and 2 amazing grandchildren. But today I want to let women know you don't have to suffer alone. Barrenness is not a death sentence. God is still going to use our story to impact other women, and that's what I'm here to do today.
The Yuletide tide season may have come to a close, but a window of hope remains open to the less fortunate. This made possible by the Vessels of Purpose Elite Group. Over the Christmas holiday, the Girls Mentoring Group held a We Care warm wear initiative that saw young mentees collecting much-needed winter items for distribution to 2 local senior citizen homes. Community Service Director of VOPE, Tammy Mitchell, pledging to continue partnering with other organizations and says the initiative demonstrates to the young women the importance of caring for those unable to care for themselves. The Rotary Club of Lucaya once again acting as partners and note the value of collaboration.
Every Saturday, actually, during the month of December, we started collecting the items, and the Rotary Club of Lucaya also joined in and partnered with us. So the items that you see here today is what we're presenting that we hope will bring warm hearts and also some comfort to those at the homes.
The focus of the Rotary Club of Lucaya is to specifically partner and collaborate with different organizations on the island, especially for the year 2022-2023. And our aim this year was to make sure that our elderly is taken care of, that they're a bit warm, and that they're cozy during this cold winter season.
Then we forget the pearls of wisdom that comes from them. And even if you're not able to donate any items, what I would suggest you do is just donate some time.
Representatives from the senior citizens' homes expressing gratitude for the donation.
I feel honored, and it is greatly appreciated. And great thanks goes out to the Vessel of Purpose. And we always appreciate any donation of this sort.
It's an honor to receive these because it's really come good and handy for them, you know, especially during this weather.
The death of Bahamian businesswoman and community builder April Crowther Go, leaving the island of Grand Bahama in shock as condolences pour in. The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, through the Ministry for Grand Bahama, releasing a statement on Crowther Go's passing. It reads, "We are grateful for the invaluable contributions April has made to Grand Bahama Island and our nation as a community builder, business leader, and former Deputy Chief Counsellor of the Freeport City. April had a vivacious personality, loved Grand Bahama and our Bahamaland, and served courageously. She was a freedom fighter and nationalist at heart and left a mark on many lives. She will never be forgotten." On behalf of our Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis and Mrs. Davis, our Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper and Mrs. Cooper, our Chairman, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, and the officers and members of the Progressive Liberal Party, we extend sincere condolences. Our thoughts and prayers are with April's family, loved ones, and the Grand Bahama community. Your Monday Check on Sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. It was a jam-packed weekend with sports. Let's take a look.
School sports return to action this week. Primary school athletes will be in action all week long.
We're going to go straight into our playoff format, and luckily, once we're completed with that, we're going straight into softball late January. Once we finish with our softball, we're going to move straight into track and field, which will be around late March. So it's just exciting to see sports back for the primary school athletics.
Over in high school, basketball is the first sport that will hit the court.
Our basketball for the 2023 term will commence on the 16th of January, where we'll have our senior boys, senior girls, junior boys, and junior girls competition. Starting after that, we're going to head straight into track and field. And we're definitely looking forward to track and field. We're also anticipating nationals for both basketball and track and field. So we're just waiting to see what the Minister of Sports is saying so that we can actually move forward.
Switching gears now, the NFL regular season is done and it's time for the playoffs. The Eagles and the Chiefs has bye weeks as the top seeds. This Saturday NFL playoff schedule for the Super Wildcard weekend features number 2 seeded 49ers versus the number 7 seed Seahawks and the number 4 seeded Jaguars against the Chargers. Sunday's action includes the number 2 seed Bills versus the Dolphins. The Vikings will take on the Giants and the number 3 seeded Bengals will take on the Ravens. Also, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks will take on the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. And finally in sports, Coach Yo and our Ole Miss Lady Rebels basketball team continuing to rack up wins. In college hoops, the Rebels defeated Texas A&M 57-38 on Sunday for their 8th straight win to remain 10-0 at home. Overall, the Lady Rebels are 15-2 on the season and 4-0 in conference play.
And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Happy Majority Rules Day to all Bahamians. Let us remember toward a common loftier goal. Work together, fight together, make our country the greatest country. We do so as a people, as a team, and may the road we trod lead unto our God.
Celebrating Majority Rule Day Tuesday, January 10th with a march from the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King, Pioneers Way, followed by entertainment in downtown Freeport. March starts at 1 p.m. Come and join the celebration.
2023 is almost here, but at Island Bedding, the deals are not done yet.
Selected king and queen bed up to 20% off. Accent benches up to 25% off. Accent chests up to 30% off. Selected king and queen bedroom set up to 20% off. Futons 20% off. Happy holidays from Island Bedding.
Connaught Bahamas says, let the home enhancement continue. They're kicking off the new year with 15% off all granite and quartz countertops for the entire month of January at all locations, Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. So, Grand Bahama, come to our showroom on Queens Highway and choose your granite or quartz countertop at 15% off all month long. Only at Connaught Bahamas, open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The coconut got this, cocoa skin dripping madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey, addict, all the men love me, sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, watch it go ba-ba-ba-ba, sweet like a sugar in a
new Click Platinum flavor, flavored beers with a kick of rum, make it platinum.
Athletes across the northern Bahamas inspire us with their performances on and off the field. ZNS is proud to honor these competitors with our Athlete of the Month award. We will select an athlete whose story and accomplishments represents the best in their sporting discipline. Tune in to find out who will be the Athlete of the Month.
Will an athlete be you?
Athlete of the Month is brought to you by Buddy Buckets. Buddy Buckets, you call the shots.
Bad lady, yeah, she been driving me crazy. When she licking her lips and moving them hips like come here, baby. I wanna take her down now.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is Glendria Roll. We hope that your birthday is as special as you. We say thank you once again for always watching. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report. New hikes being considered for national insurance contributions. A new labor initiative targeting high school seniors. A 69-year-old female shot overnight. In sports, Road to Crowther 50 underway. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts after this.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Glad you can join us. Good evening. I'm Desmond Saunders, and welcome to the Bahamas tonight, the National Report. Well, you could see an increase in your national insurance payments as early as July this year, should the government submit to the recommendations on the actuarial valuation of the National Insurance Board. According to the report, with each passing year, the fund is nearing depletion for several obvious factors. Carla Palmer fills us in.
The rate increase being recommended in national insurance contributions sits between 0.75 of a percentage point and 1.5 percentage points, although the International Labour Organization advised in its 11th actuarial valuation of NIB that contributions increase by 2 percentage points, with increases continuing every 2 years until 2036, until financial stability is gained. The rate hike proposal aims to save the fund from its projected path of depletion by 2028, should this rate increase be ignored.
I think it's known that the fund will deplete in about 6 years from the time the report was issued.
Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister responsible for NIB, Miles Laroda, says for some time now NIB has been paying out in annual contributions more than it is taking in. Some $6 million less, he says.
We have less people that are paying into the fund for each person that's going to be retiring, because our rate of fertility is lower than it was when the fund first started. And we're paying some benefits now that we're not paying benefits then. If you look at the rate of pensions, the salary scale, there was once where the bar was $400 per week. It is now north of $700. And so if we are paying more to pensioners, but yet we're not balancing that with more revenue, we get to a point where the payouts is not as much as, is much more than the taking in.
An increased rate in contributions was but one recommendation. There were others.
To extend the age of retirement, to also to reduce the amount of benefits that are being paid. We're looking at close to 50 years of the National Insurance Board, and there's only been one rate increase. I think that was in 2010.
That considered age increase in retirement, says Minister Laroda, is proposed to move from 65 to 67 years, with the 2 years of working life aiding to the extended NIB contributions of employees.
We have a population that's living longer. We have less people that are paying into the fund for each person that's going to be retiring, because our rate of fertility is lower than it was when the fund first started. The government has not made a decision on it as yet. The government is considering all of the options. All of the options are on the table. And so the date given by the National Insurance Board had actually wrote to the Cabinet, and one of their recommendations from the Board of Executives and the Board of Directors was that to be a rate increase, and that for that rate increase to come into effect in July of this year. The government will look at those recommendations and see which ones we will follow, if any, but they are being considered.
Minister Laroda could not say how soon a decision would be forthcoming. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
The Department of Labor launching a new initiative this month called Labor on the Campus. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson says the program is aimed at ensuring that 10, 11, and 12 graders have the skills they need to enter the job market. He says the move is necessary after employers indicated following a number of job fairs that some high school graduates don't have the numeracy, literacy, and soft skills necessary to enter the job market.
On the campus means the Department of Labor then will go into the school campus, and we will attract 10 and 11 graders who may not meet the criteria for graduating with a high school diploma. We're going to introduce them to a few programs. The first program is from BTVI called a dual enrollment program. That program is designed while you're in grade 10 and 11 and grade 12 to spend part of the time in high school and part of the time at BTVI so you can learn a skill. Those same persons, when they reach grade 12, we could turn them on to what we call a job readiness program at the National Training Agency, so they can better prepare themselves when they graduate from high school to enter the job market. While at the same time, we got identified those 12 graders who will be graduating soon with high school diplomas to tertiary level education opportunities at the University of the Bahamas and other tertiary level institutions.
The Labor Department is partnering with employers and other stakeholders in the initiative, which will begin at the government high school here in the capital.
Then at the same time, we invited employers to join us at the high school. So they can say, if you're graduating, you have this amount of BG service, we have a job opportunity. If you have a job opportunity, come and work for us. Here are the opportunities available. Then at the same time, the Department of Labor will have their skills here. They have people to register in our database. We can have people how to draft a resume, how to be interviewed, how to dress when you go to interview. We want to better prepare these young men and women who come out of high school to enter the labor market. And it starts on January 26th at the government high school. We are working in conjunction with the Ministry of Education and a number of private sector people. And it's being done, believe it or not, in conjunction with the government high school class of 1983 Alumni Association.
The Ministry of Education working with the University of the Bahamas to conduct a study on the primary factors that influence a student's ability to learn. Acting Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell says it will be some time before those findings are available, as a comprehensive study will not be complete until 2024. She, however, believes it will be a key document in carving the way forward when it comes to the education of Bahamians.
We're really excited about what that will produce, whether those are social factors, whether those are educational factors. What are those factors that contribute to whether our children learn or not, or how they learn? And so we're looking forward to the results of that, so that could inform our decision making in regards to our children. Because it's a study, it's a qualitative and quantitative look at the factors. They're going to be conducting surveys. They're going to look at some of our assessments, our formative and summative assessments like GLAT and BGCSE, BJC results. They will also interview, key people, stakeholders.
Now, the Acting Director of Education says education officials are also looking to strengthen education at the high school level, also placing more focus on technical and vocational programs and providing more opportunities for apprenticeships.
Our goal nationally is to ensure that every child can leave high school with something in their hand. Whether they decide to go to the world of work right away, they should have some form of certification that allows them to be employable, to gain a place in the workforce right away. And then, of course, for those who want to matriculate to, academic tertiary institutions, that they're given those opportunities as well.
Well, 2023 is going to be a busy year at the Office of the Auditor General. Officials at the agency charged with investigating government's finances will complete its 2022 roster and add new reports this year. The Auditor General gave this exclusive to our Altavis Munnings, who joins us live in studio with the details. Good evening, Altavis.
Good evening, Desmond, and good evening, Bahamas. Let me say at the outset that it's not easy to score an interview with the Auditor General. And I'm so happy that I did, and he definitely didn't disappoint. As Terrence Bastian outlined in our exclusive interview, the role of the Office of the Auditor General, and believe it or not, how many Bahamians actually notify him of potential wrongdoing in government offices and operations. We'll start tonight off with the Office of the Auditor General's plans for 2023.
It's our responsibility to audit all government agencies. Any agency that use public funds, we are responsible for auditing them. We may not get to audit them because of our number of staff and the number of agencies, but we audit them as much as possible, and from year to year we may get to the other ones that we didn't touch in a particular year, and that's how we do that.
Some of those 2022 audits on the 2023 Auditor General's list include the former administration's National Food Distribution Task Force, the COVID-19 program, Hurricane Dorian, Customs Department's revenue and overtime, government contracts, and the parliamentarian's constituency capital grant. And those reports will add to the new reports this year, like audits of government revenue and expenditure, the gaming board, real property tax, Bahamas embassies in the United States, China, and Canada, the road traffic and post office departments, and government's family island operations.
We cannot write a report unless we have the evidence to back what we are writing. We don't look at colors, we look at the facts, black and white, and report it as is. There may be some people who accept it and don't accept it, but it's our job to maintain our independence and neutrality. And therefore, we don't go looking to report anyone, but we do looking to report our findings and make recommendations how improvements can be made going forward.
The Auditor General admits that it could be expensive to audit all government agencies and departments in a timely manner. And that basically means having a full complement of staff. Right now, he needs about 25 workers just here in New Providence.
The government has been very, very helpful to the Office of the Auditor General over the years in giving us funding to outsource. So where we may not have the numbers and staff, if there's something important to do, I have the capacity financially to outsource certain audits, and we've done that from time to time, and that's been a great help to us.
Public feedback is also crucial to the Office of the Auditor General's operations.
They read the reports, they see what's happening, and so I think because of that, they call and they say, this is what we've seen. We think you should look at this. They call from the Family Islands, and they call from here in New Providence, and they make certain complaints and lodge certain complaints. The media is very important in properly reporting what's happening and what they see, and reporting accurately, and that also assists when it comes to auditing. That's a part of good governance.
The Office of the Auditor General also plans to forge and strengthen relationships with non-government agencies and civil society. In our next report, we'll update you on how this office is going digital. Reporting in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings. Back to you, Desmond.
Thank you, Altaviz Munnings, on the story tonight. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more after this.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse, the people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast, I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast, I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast, when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast, when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Because they were on sale, Keisha bought these umbrella shoes without thinking. Literally, without thinking. Hungry for deals? Come and satisfy that hunger at KFC before doing something crazy. Snack Box for only $5 with a piece of juicy KFC fried chicken, creamy mashed potato, and the buttery biscuit. A finger-licking good deal.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Well, now to the FTX saga. Online media is reporting today that the Robinhood shares linked to FTX and worth nearly $500 million have been seized by the Department of Justice in the United States. In a document filed on Friday, the Department of Justice confiscated more than 55 million shares owned by Sam Bankman-Fried and his co-founder, stating that the seized assets constitute property involved in violation of crimes involving wire fraud and money laundering. His co-founder has pleaded guilty and is cooperating with prosecutors. Meantime, on the weekend, we told you that Bahamian liquidators of FTX Digital Markets and the new CEO of the U.S. companies of FTX have finally reached an agreement over access to data. The parties entered an agreement on mutual cooperation last week on January 6, according to a statement from FTX. The agreement allows the parties to begin work together to share information, secure and return property to their estates, coordinate litigation against third parties, and explore strategic alternatives for maximizing shareholder recoveries. The parties also agreed to share information that both the Chapter 11 proceedings and the liquidation proceedings will proceed, and to determine the ownership of assets that are subject to competing claims. While the judging system for both the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parades are flawed and need to be restructured. That's how leader of the Roots Junkanoo organization, Wendell Guts Francis, feels. Francis telling ZNS News on Monday that the judges selected need to be fair and balanced when tallying the overall scores for each parade.
How the judges are selected, which is, we think it's unfair. When you go into the general public, everyone have their favorite group, everyone have their favorite bias towards their favorite organization. And so you could find yourself today, tomorrow, that you might find that most of the persons that are judging those parades might be fans of a particular group. And by all means, that happens. Now, unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say that, you know, persons cannot be fair in their assessment when they come down to scoring those parades, or really, you know, saying who might be the better group, despite it might be their favorite group. And that's where the problem comes in. And you basically can see it in the scorecard. You can see it from the costuming.
Now, while giving a breakdown of the various categories, Francis says costuming comes out on top with the most points during the scoring structure.
Look at, when you lead, overall costume gives you the majority of points in the overall scoring system, which is 55% of the points. And that's from the banner to the lead costume, to the step down, to off the shoulder, including the girls' costumes, and so forth and so on. And that gives you the 55%. The music gives you 25% of the whole score. Performance, I think, is 15%, and then the rest goes to those different categories. So when you could almost, as a Junkanoo, as a Junkanoo person who's been in Junkanoo for a very long time and really know Junkanoo, participate in Junkanoo, probably build costumes and being around the shop, you can look at, you can man a group, basically just come out on the road, you could say, you know, they're in the money this morning. And that's based on costuming. Because on the end of the day, if you do well in costume, chances are, you might not win the parade, but you might always be in the money, so as Junkanoo people might put it. But when you find yourself having probably the better costumes, each and probably most mornings, and then you find yourself in 4th and 5th and stuff, something is definitely wrong with the system.
Well, news from the crime beat tonight, a 69-year-old woman is nursing injuries in a hospital after being shot overnight. Police were alerted through ShotSpotter that gunshots were being fired in the Ross Corner area. And when officers arrived on the scene, they were told that the victim was standing in the area of a business establishment when she heard gunshots and discovered that she had been shot to the leg. An intense investigation into the matter is underway. Other news for you tonight, police questioning 7 men in connection with a major drug bust Sunday afternoon. They were arrested after officers from Operation Ceasefire executed a search warrant at a home on Munnings Drive and found 15 sacks of suspected marijuana. The drugs have an estimated street value of over $39,600. Well, police need your help tonight in finding a man responsible for robbing a service station on East Bay Street Sunday night. Police say the robber wore a plaid shirt and an Adidas tam when he entered the store and demanded cash at gunpoint. He then fled the scene on foot. If you have any information that can assist police and can help police nab him, call Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS and 919. Well, the country will pause tomorrow, January 10th, to mark Majority Rule Day, a pivotal moment in the history of the country. PLP Chairman and Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, reflects on the significance of the event.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 10th of January 2023, we mark 56 years since majority rule came to our country, following 3 centuries of domination by a racial minority in our country. By the time 1967 came along, the property vote, the company vote, and the discrimination against women in law had all been abolished. On that day, the Bahamian Times, the PLP's newspaper, ran the headline, "Bay Street Rule is Broken." Lyndon Pinling became the premier of the country on that day and led us into national independence. On the way to 1973, he lowered the voting age in the country from 21 to 18. So here we are today, sovereign and free, and plotting our own destiny. Sir Arthur Folkes, the former Governor General, who signed the act into law to make Majority Rule Day a public holiday, called this day the most important day in our history since the abolition of slavery. Please join us at St. Agnes Church in Grantstown at 10 a.m. on Tuesday to mark the occasion. And after that, there's a march beginning at 11:30 to the Pinling Mausoleum from the church, St. Agnes.
Tomorrow, thousands of Bahamians will pause to observe a day etched in the history of our nation. And while in present time we celebrate Majority Rule as a day that shaped the modern Bahamas, in retrospect, it's a day marked by a series of key moments and events. Tonight, our Antoinette Smith has more on the road to Majority Rule from the perspective of some of our nation's little darlings.
The road to Majority Rule, as told by the precocious students of Palmdale Primary, was certainly not quick or easy. And just like their song suggests, it certainly wasn't something that happened overnight, but rather a result of a series of events starting all the way back with historic moments like the Burma Road riots, inclusive of the women's suffrage movement.
Was that there wasn't really equal rights for women, and they couldn't vote back then, and it wasn't fair. People didn't have equal rights, like they didn't get to have the things that we have. Like they didn't get the same education that we have today.
It's why the events leading to Majority Rule have become a major part of the lesson plan at the elementary school and the subject of a special assembly held Monday.
Justice that prevails for the majority of Bahamians.
We would like for our students to never forget those persons that were the pace setters in making them who they are today. We also want them to remember the reason why we are here today, the fact that the majority that played a difference during the historical events are the ones that made it possible.
Possible to live freely, possible to learn, and possible to inspire a new generation, some of whom are the bright young minds in Bahamian schools captivated by the story of January 10th, 1967.
That makes me feel like really happy and excited and independent. I really want to learn like how did they even accomplish it? It's good that we still celebrate for those who then had equal rights.
And for those who paved the way. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoinette Smith.
More exposure for shore-based Bahamian businesses. That's the aim of the Bahamas Charter Yacht Show, scheduled for February It's a 5-day showcase put on by the Association of Bahamas Mariners in partnership with the International Yacht Brokers Association and the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation. Now, during the February 22nd event, a number of charter yacht brokers are expected to network with local yacht provisioning businesses at 5 of the major marinas in New Providence. According to Bay Street Marina General Manager Peter Murray, officials are hoping to attract more than 40 charter yachts to make connections with the horde of Bahamian brands and businesses who've expressed their interest.
So when a boat leaves, say, Bay Street or Atlantis, and, you know, they've got all their provisions, they get down island and they're looking for fresh fruit, you know, certain things that you know, services. I mean, even a lot of the boats that go down the Exumas, there's not you know, a facility to store all the trash on board, so they look for shore-based businesses that can come out, take the trash off the boats. Just a lot of different things, you know, that I don't think have been explored properly in the country. So this would answer a lot of those questions.
Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, who do you think is ultimately responsible for addressing juvenile delinquency? A, parents, B, government, C, both. To participate, simply log on to our website, www.znsbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer the poll's final results. Will be aired on Friday. As always, thanks for your participation.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, spoke to the top sandals sales representatives at their Global Sales Summit last weekend.
I want to tell you that sandals is the gold standard when it comes to partnership. 850 employees in the Bahamas invested $55 million in Sandals Royal Bahamian, tribunal opportunities for our people, negotiating stakeholders. When we met with Air Canada Vacations, we were able to share the room and been able to attract significantly more airlift from Toronto direct to Exuma. And we're going to sit with Gary again on JetBlue in New York, and we're going to ensure that JetBlue comes to Exuma. We're going to make your job easy. The occupancy is up. When we look at Q4 of 2022 and we compare against 2019, again, everything's up. When we look at our forward bookings, as our Director General mentioned, to the end of June, everything is up. Ain't no stopping us now.
For more information on what's on stream for tourism, please visit Bahamas.com. I'm Danielle Bodie, and this is Tourism Today.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. The fastest, most secure, and reliable way to stream the internet. So you can do what you want, whenever you want. That's the power of Alive Fiber. The future is Alive Fiber.
Boy, I need you to go down by the centralized collection center and pick up my permit so I can import my plants and my pets.
Grabbing my car down.
You're busting running it.
But under in your name, you have to go pick it up yourself.
Boy, listen here. On the portal, you can assign another My Gateway user as a proxy to pick up your stuff on your behalf. And I sending you. So go get my things. I got things to do.
During 2022, Family Guardian was honored to provide tangible assistance to numerous Bahamian communities, organizations, and charities, including the Bahamas Kidney Association, Bahamas Humane Society, Bahamas Crisis Center, Stapleton School, Salvation Army School for the Blind, Nurses Association, Persis Rogers Home for the Aged, Grand Bahama Children's Home, 4D Stallions Track Club, Rhythm and Youth Rake and Scrape Band, Cancer Society of the Bahamas, Reach Out Youth Organization, Falcon Boys Club, Royal Bahamas Police Force Dependents Trust, PACE, Sister Breast Cancer Support Group, the Down Syndrome Center, Great Commission Ministries, and Every Child Counts Special Needs School. Our record of corporate giving speaks for itself, and our commitment to positively impact the communities where we work and live remains a foundational principle for our company. As the year draws to a close, we would like to say thank you to our clients and a Merry Christmas and a healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year to all from the management and staff of Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Well, a decorated Bahamian receiving a prestigious award. Vern Carey tells us more.
Cynthia Mother Pratt has attained many firsts in her life, having served as acting Prime Minister in the Christie administration, Deputy Prime Minister, and the first female Minister of Defense in the Bahamas. Apart from distinguishing herself in the political arena, the ordained Minister of the Gospel and author has also contributed to national development as a nurse and a teacher. But despite her impressive portfolio, Mother Pratt is perhaps best known for her tireless work in the community, which she says is prompted by a genuine desire to help others. Still, Mother Pratt said she was shocked when she was singled out for a Lifetime Achievement Award by Fen Rofen, an international group that provides support for women in Haiti.
When international people call you to say that they want to honor you for what you're doing in your country, that's quite a privilege. That's quite a privilege. And so I'm thankful to the organization. I'm thankful also to the Bahamian people who are very supportive of me. In whatever I do, they try to assist. And I thank God that I can touch some lives to make a difference in our nation. And that's really why I'm here. What is my purpose if I can't reach out and touch my people?
Close friend Pat Moxie believes Mother Pratt is truly deserving of the high honor.
She is well known for what she does. Her work speaks for her. She don't get out there and blah, 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 blah. She show what she does. She walk the walk.
Reflecting on her vision to build a village for hurting and abused women, Mother Pratt says more must be done to help women and those in need.
Some of them are sleeping on the sides of the streets. Something must be done, and I can't do it alone, but collectively we can do so many things. And so someone told me yesterday about a lady who was sleeping on this road, the actual road itself, nothing under her, not like a sheet and this is a female. And so these are the things that we must address. We can do it if we come together collectively. And so that's one of the reasons why that vision that I have in terms of a village for abused women is something that I pray God allow me to live, to see be realized. Because in a village, we'll be able to teach them, we'll be able to give them a skill, help them to obtain a skill. We'll be able to train them, make them marketable, so that when they leave the village, they would be able to get employment to help their children.
In the meantime, Mother Pratt says she will continue doing her part to inspire other women and girls. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
A Queens College student has embarked upon an innovative way to eradicate hunger by encouraging Bahamians to donate their unused food stamps to feed the needy. LaDon Davis caught up with the 10-year-old to find out how you can help.
Sticking food stamps on a piece of paper can save $1 or $2 when purchasing items at Super Value Food Store every Sunday. But the unused food stamps can go towards donating food to families with bare cupboards and nothing hot to eat. 6th grade student at Queens College, Nyla Simonet, says her Food for Stamps initiative is a unique way to stomp out hunger in this country.
It started when I was talking to a trusted guidance counselor about how I can make an impact on those in need in the wider community. And I thought quality stamps, because often people overlook them, but they can be used to really make a big impact on those who need it.
Nyla says she's already reached the halfway mark for the food stamps drive and anticipates an increase before the end of the week. From the stamps collected, she hopes to feed at least 100 people.
Well, I'm trying to help those who need it. So if they would like to donate, that's great. If they don't, that's also okay because they might need it. But I just want everybody to try to do whatever they can to help.
Nyla brought along her mother and brother along with staff at QC to assist with packaging the donated food stamps at the school's library. Principal and Vice Principal Henry Knowles and Sylvia Benaby are both extremely proud of Nyla's humanitarian spirit.
So Nyla represents what Queens College embodies, a heart for other people. We believe in the 7 habits of highly effective individuals, and one of the habits is synergize. And we realize that we need each other. Jesus says that we are our brother's keeper. And so what she is doing with the stamps program, the Stamping Out Hunger, it's a part of us reaching out to others.
So how greatest thing is, well, if somebody's hungry, they can't learn. So let me do what I can do to support, particularly children, but anybody that needs a meal. Her heart is to let me just do that one small thing to feed one person one meal, and then somebody else may make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Persons wishing to support the cause are asked to drop off their unused quality stamps to the Queens College Primary School office on Village Road and the Cable Beach and Winton SuperValue food stores by January 12th. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm LaDon Davis.
Well, amazing right there. Scores of playwrights and artistic directors intimately involved with the production of works of renowned English poet and playwright, the late William Shakespeare, recently in the Capitol for 5 days of meetings and workshops. The group representing the Shakespeare Theatre Association hosting its annual theater conference here in Paradise. President of the Shakespeare Theatre Association, Nicolette Bethel, speaks about how the Bahamas was chosen.
This is the Shakespeare Theatre Association annual conference. They are a 31-year-old organization and it's an association of Shakespeare-producing theaters from around the world. Back in 2017, Shakespeare in Paradise was invited to join them, and we did. And when we went to the first conference in 2018, they said, so when are we going to be hosting the conference in the Bahamas? Oh. And so here we are. We thought, well, 2023, 50th anniversary of independence, that would be a good year to have it. Mm-hmm. It's also the 15th anniversary of Shakespeare in Paradise. It'll be the 15th season of Shakespeare in Paradise. So here we are.
Well, the meeting comes as the government advances its push for the growth of theater and creative arts in the country. Bethel hopes the event revives the orange economy.
We have been trying for the last 15 years to link what we do with the tourism industry, with letting tourists know that every October we have Shakespeare here, and they can come and see it, and they can come and see some of the best theater that they can experience for the price they pay, right? And it's been a long, hard journey. People don't necessarily trust that we could do Shakespeare. They don't trust that we have the right kind of theater or whatever. But I hope that hosting this conference is going to give people a little bit more confidence. And the fact that we were able to host it at Atlantis, maybe the people who are working in this resort get the idea that maybe take a risk on Shakespeare in Paradise and get them tourists out to our shows.
Our news team has learned that former Supreme Court Justice and Chief Magistrate Roger Gomez passed away today. The 73-year-old retired from the bench in 2017. He is a brother of former Anglican Archbishop, the Right Reverend Drexel Gomez, and former Cabinet Minister Perry Gomez. He's survived by his wife, Gloria, and 3 children.
Want to have a sweet new year? Spend a minimum of $12 on any Hershey's Kisses or chocolate and take your receipt to Pritchard's on Robinson Road. You could win up to $2,500. There'll be 9 winners. Enter today.
Are you a contractor or new homeowner? Maybe you need a few pieces of lumber for your DIY projects. Welcome to Capital Lumber, the newest building materials company in the Bahamas. Located on Parkgate Road, Nassau, helping you to maximize your savings on lumber, cement, shingles, tools, and much more. Your one-stop shop for all your building essentials. With free delivery to the mail booth, visit us today. Capital Lumber, build strong.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast, I could watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast, I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast, when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast, when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
When it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Grand Bahama Police apprehending 3 Cuban nationals ages 33, 44, and 39 years old after they were found on Anguilla Key off Bimini. Police were tipped off by the occupants of a private vessel who were on a fishing trip around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Now, the illegal migrants are now in the hands of immigration officials for processing. Well, it's the first of its kind for the small communities of Stevenson, Harts, and Rokus Point in Exuma, lauding the settlements for their amazing work and their joint effort. The area member of parliament pointed out the pivotal role Exuma has played in Bahamian history. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Exuma, more importantly Steventon, played a crucial role in the country's march toward freedom, with the slave revolts led by Pompey in 1830. It was this piece of history the island's Member of Parliament and Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable Chester Cooper, highlighted as he opened the first annual Steventon, Harts and Roker's Point Homecoming and Regatta on Exuma Saturday.
The slave masters wanted to take them to Cat Island. And they said, hell no, we ain't going to Cat Island. No way, not today. We staying right here at Exuma. But it was through this leadership and through this revolt began a cascade of activities that led ultimately to the liberation and emancipation of slaves. And that started right here in Steventon.
Cooper says the strength and resiliency of Exuma residents are highlighted in the communities of Steventon, Harts and Roker's Point, adding that festivities such as the homecoming and regatta help to foster a sense of community. The Member of Parliament says he also hopes the event will trigger greater things for Exuma and the site that he says has the potential to attract thousands of tourists to the Bahamas.
It has potential to attract thousands of tourists to our shores, and I hope that one day we can see it as a modernized version of what now exists. I hope that we can see the restoration of the jailhouse. I hope that we can see a museum. I hope that we can see a documentary that tells the story of Pompey. And I hope that we could see hundreds and hundreds of tourists going to this site each day, followed by tens and scores of students going to learn about Pompey.
Cooper again reiterated government's intent to declare sailing as the national sport at this year's National Family Island Regatta. It's something Chairman of the All Exuma Regatta, Commodore Danny Strawn, is pleased about. Also proud to see sailing highlighted over the next few days.
And I'm glad that you're starting off with the fact that it's going to be homecoming and sailing, because it's an opportunity to teach the inhabitants or the people who live in Steventon, Harts and Roker's Point all about sailing and what it really means to our country as the national sport.
A number of E-Class and C-Class races will be held throughout the homecoming and regatta, but 3 young skippers who saw the E-Class race delayed Saturday had high hopes for when they could join the big boys. 11-year-old Dallas Clark says he fully intended to win, sharing his love of boats and the water.
I've been sailing for a year and a few months, but in February it would make 2 years. Having fun. I get to meet new people when I joined.
14-year-old Seth Sanchez's love of the water developed early, and he was confident in his ability to come out on top.
You coming first, all the way first.
Unlike his more confident peers, 13-year-old Adron Knowles had a simple wish, simply not to sink.
I sail in a slow boat, so I probably would try to come first or second, but I ain't too sure about that.
The first annual Steventon, Hearts, and Rokers Point Homecoming and Regatta will come to a close on Tuesday. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Time now for a check on Family Island weather. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Basil, you saw those beautiful pictures in Exuma. More sun in the forecast this week?
Absolutely. From Boundary just went through. We'll give you all the details later in the newscast, so stay tuned. But outside of our studios, partly cloudy skies, temperature at 74 degrees, a relative humidity 75%. We have westerly winds at 7 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,018.0 millibars. That's 30.05 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family Violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 73 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool Key, and Marshall, Babico, the Berry Islands, 76. Alistown, Bimini, 75 degrees, 75 also in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 74, 76 in Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, all at 77, 78 in Georgetown, Exuma, 77s in Rygat Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Megawanda, 78, Ackland, 78, Matsutown, Inagua, 79, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 77 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas tonight, northerly winds behind that front, 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your high tide, that will take place at 9:31 tonight. And then tomorrow, which is Tuesday right through Wednesday, for all areas, the winds become northeast at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights holding at 2 to 4 feet. High tide tomorrow, 9:49 in the morning, with a low tide at 4:18 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Our free pick, pack, delivery service gives everyone in the Family Islands a chance to shop a variety of club products and prices right from home. Simply call or WhatsApp your order to 242-677-7266 or email order@amlfoods.com. A friendly customer service representative is waiting to pick, pack, and deliver your order to the mailboat of your choice. The options are truly endless, and with membership you save even more. So order today and let Costrite pick, pack, and deliver right to you.
Here's to a fresh start in 2023. Super value and quality supermarkets. Livy's Vienna sausage, 4.6 ounce, $1.19. 123 cooking oil, 33.8 ounces, $3.99. Mott's apple juice, 64 ounce, $4.99. Bar S Classic or meat franks, 12 ounce, 2 for $3. Party chicken wings, 3.5 pound bag, $1.43 per pound. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at super value and quality supermarkets.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Monday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. The countdown is on to the 50th anniversary of the Crowther Games, with the track and field portion of the event set to take place here in the capital. Both athletes and coaches alike are hard at work preparing to field the best team the 242 has had to offer for quite some time. One of the men responsible on ensuring the Bombers produces a world-class team and event is president of the Bombers Association of Athletics Associations, D'Amico Archer. ZNS whole sports team recently caught up with him to get his thoughts on how things are shaping up.
We had lots of athletes out at the track, and I think that that's a really good sign of what is expected of them moving into the 2020-23 season. I'm excited about the Crowther Games. I'm excited about it being here in the Bahamas, and I think that our athletes will have a pleasant surprise for the Bahamian fans. Obviously, we are in the business of getting our kids ready for the big event, and the Crowther Games is going to be really the highlight, I think, of track and field in this coming season. And so, after a long off season, we have quite a number of athletes that we expect to qualify early. I think that what we should expect is early qualifiers starting at the T-Bird Flyers meet.
Archer also giving us some insight on the changes made to the selection process in regards to the Crowther qualifying standard.
We've gone through quite a number of volleys of iterations of what the qualifying standard should look like. And ordinarily, our qualifying standard would be the average fourth place performance over the past 3 Crowther Games. Because it's in the Bahamas and we want to give the athletes every possible opportunity, we've softened the standards slightly to a 5th place standard. And I think that will create an invitation for more athletes to believe that they have an equal opportunity to make the team. We just came out of our general meeting where those standards were ratified, and the athletes are already aware of their charging orders.
And hoping to be one of the persons that gets to don the country's colors come Crowther weekend is young Kalia Burke, a sprinter who is now transitioning into becoming a long jumper. We spoke to her about why the move from the track to the pit.
I think I'm very springy, and Coach Roll saw a lot of potential in me, and so I decided to invest into going into long. Honestly, I've been training really hard after school, just putting all that hard work in. Doing to the best of my ability, and especially with me being home and all my family and friends watching, I'm just trying to, represent my country the best I can.
And the training has certainly been grueling.
A lot of bounding, a lot of hurdles, hurdle mobilities, a lot of sprints. When it comes to long jump, just running up and down, really. But it kind of depends on the day. But we do a lot of 150s, maybe like a 50-meter. I work on my drive phases. I go on hill.
And while the Junior National Tournament is currently underway at the National Lawn Tennis Center, 2023 is set to be a busy year for the Bahamas Lawn Tennis Association. Recently spoke to its president, Perry Newton, who gave us the full slate of events for this calendar year.
For us, this is the first tournament of the year. This will be followed up by a tournament in Grand Bahama. Then we're going to come back to New Providence in March for our Spring Classic. And then we have a high school championship in May. Then we go into Junior Nationals. We're really looking forward to the return of our international competitions this July and November. And, our Junkanoo Bowl in July is going to lead right into the start of the Bahama Games. So we're really excited. There's a lot of activity going on in tennis, and we're trying to really create more competition for the kids.
In college basketball news, Jolette McPhee-McCoon and the Ole Miss Lady Rebels hot start to SEC play continues, with the Rebels pushing past Texas A&M last night, 57-38 to begin conference play 4-0. A 21-point second quarter provided Ole Miss with enough momentum to pick up its 3rd straight series win. The Rebels were led by 11 points each from Santa Collins, Markeisha Davis, and Madison Scott. Ole Miss is now 15-2 on the year, and again 4-0 in SEC play.
Joni's just doing a great job with what she has as far as managing the game and shortening the game. We were only able to take 57 shots when we take 70 to 73 shots a game, and that's a credit to how they manage the game as far as their pace on the offensive end. And so we knew this would be a game where we would just have to figure it out, but I did think we were able to dictate by when we did get the rebound, by, you know, pushing it out in transition and getting some easy baskets.
That's been your sports on this Monday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy, or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we had a front boundary just went through late this afternoon. You can see the ribbon of clouds associated with that. That is moving into the central Bahamas. So there will be some clearing over the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, Desmond. So the sun exactly will come out tomorrow. Tonight, though, just before we get there, later in the week, we expect that jet stream to dive deep into the southern portion of the United States. That will usher in another cool blast with a second cold front moving into the northwest Bahamas sometime late on Friday. And our forecast for tonight, mainly clear skies, a cool 68 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny, quite nice with a high temperature of 78 degrees. And those temperatures will be trending like this. We'll start the morning off at about 68 degrees, gradually climbing. We should plateau out at about 78 degrees, and that will take place sometime around 2:30 tomorrow afternoon before the temperatures start to dip once again. Extended weather forecast, lots of sunshine in our forecast. Right through Thursday, the showers and thunderstorms come back into the forecast on Friday, and that's associated with that frontal system, and that will happen in the afternoon hours. The front goes through. The winds will pick up. Very breezy, very, very cold conditions on the weekend, so you're going to need to take those warm clothing out. 58 degrees on Saturday, that will be your low temperature, and with the wind chill factor, it will feel more like the low 50s. So very, very cold weekend shaping up for you. Desmond?
Thank you, Basil. Thank you, Basil. That's a wrap for tonight's newscast. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here, thank you so much for watching the Bahamas Tonight. Have a good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network.